Yeah, thank you for the opportunity that I have speak about my life. I came into New Zealand in 1956, and in that year, I went through Samoa to the George Brown before I come to New Zealand and go to the agriculture school at Rev Faaoso 1 year, and I went to Piula on 4 years, but I managed to get to the 5th year because I was very success in the education in my marks in the exam. So I was missed 1 year and stepped from 1 to 3. And when I get to the 5th year, this is the year that was punished me because I was come very late on the vocation. It makes my heart broken, and I want to come to New Zealand at time. That's the time people are begin to look for opportunity to come to New Zealand. So my auntie named Teresa was working in a hospital in Matotua, arranged all things for me to come to her brother, live in Palmerston. I was doing coconuts and to find some money to pay my fare. My fare was £23, and that £23 is enough to pay your fare on a tofua. Come on a deck, and you catch the plane from Fiji to New Zealand. We arrive in New Zealand on the 14th of March, 14th of July, 1956, in Whanuapai. We came there is one of La Maunga's relative was in the airport and many Samoan. So we there, and I thought, oh, they said New Zealand is cold, but it's nothing. But about 7 or 8 o'clock at night, I couldn't even want to sit. I want to tuck on bed. It's very cold. That was the time Setu Masina and Faalua just married. And I am staying in that house, Setu, Faalua, and Setu's brother named Maliko. Is 3 of us in that house. That's the time I was look for a job. The job is if you have £11, that's a big pay. And the son of the Jewish Africa's Kurau, named Jim Kurau, was giving me a job in Ponsonby. He worked in a presser, pressing clothes. So that's my first job. I worked there. And also given me the privilege of thinking about the reason why I came to New Zealand. I worked in that job for 1 year. And this is how I come to meet La Maunga. La Maunga was used to came to Piula when I was in a college. La Maunga was a daughter of the senior minister. And she looked at me, looked down, because they are beautiful women. And also they look very rich, and I am poor. But because I am a student in a theology college, and I think she liked me. So therefore, this is how the beginning of the friendship with La Maunga. And the other problem I have is also La Maunga's brother was a best friend of mine. So this is the problem that I have since I have begun to friend with La Maunga. I came to New Zealand and La Maunga was in New Zealand before and went back. When I come to New Zealand, that's where I explain. I work in a company, Velva is work with Jim Kurau, a presser. And I worked there for 18 months. And the year 1958, I suppose, not sure, but I think it's 58. That is the year Faaoso Tugia was used to be a president of the Methodist Church in Samoa. I came looking to be enrolled in a theology college, but it's not an easy task because my education have to have a school C before you enter. But I have nothing. So I was working in a new factory named Sleepyhead at night and go in a date for school in a school of Christian workers to give me a certificate of level to a school certificate. So therefore, this is how I went in and equipped myself in a Trinity College. Faaoso finished his schooling and went back to Samoa, and I am schooling in a Trinity. It was a good course, and because I was given the opportunity to work in a ministry in New Zealand, and this is how I enter the ministry to work, as I explained before. In all these years since I was a minister and I come to time of my retirement, it's a very, very experienced thing in life. Wherever I stand in any congregation of people, words is pouring in your mouth. It's the Spirit of the loving God. It was true when Jesus was said to his disciples, when you would be stand in a church or anywhere, don't worry for words that you would be spoken, because words will become through the Spirit. So this is the experience I have in my life. I learn very much and depend on my Bible. And this is how it leads me to believe very much in God so loved me. I am coming to the age of 83 in November this year, and I am so glad that I have given this life from God to look to my son and daughters and my grandchildren. I love you all. I love them all. In this opportunity I came to Australia. It's pleasing, and I'm thankful to God was given me that opportunity in life. Thank you.